Hey, what's up, educators? I am the real Manos, and this is my buddy.
I'm Deadpoolzilla. How are you people out there in fine internet land?
And we're back with another Primetime Crisis talking about this past week's Steven Universe episode, Mindful Education. And let's see, to get things going, it is a Stefani episode with Steven and Connie training more intensely as Stefani. Pearl wisely brings in Garnet to kind of help that along. That's when we realize that there's something bothering Connie, and it turns out she accidentally used her super new cool fighting skills against another kid at school, and she's been really bummed about it. That's when Garnet decides to kind of jump in and help try and bring peace within Connie and kind of help the fusion stay in tune with each other, and that helps her, but it actually kind of unlocks some guilt that Steven had been feeling. Concerning a bunch of kills he's had up on his board in recent episodes. What a great episode, first off. What did you think, Deadpool?
I absolutely loved it. This also, just like I said, this emotionally beat me to death. Like, I should have seen this coming from Rebecca Sugar at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we had a whole 2 episodes that were just cute, fun ones. It was about time to get back to, punching our guts out, frankly. That song. Here's a Thought is the song that Garnet and Stefani sing. This is the first time we hear Stefani sing in the show, and it was one of those songs that I heard it and go, okay, that's cool, and then it's very replayable. I mean, the more I listen to it, the more I get into it as a piece of music and as the message of the song. And how it relates to the plot of the characters, really. What did you think about it?
I absolutely loved it. The best part about this episode is that this came from a guest animator from Studio Trigger, which I apparently, the biggest, I can't remember the guy's name, but apparently this was the lead animator on Kill la Kill.
Yes.
And the animation is just beautiful, especially in the song. It's absolutely stunning, and it actually gives me hope because one of my one of my biggest things about this show is that I would absolutely love to have Yoko Kanno, the composer for Ghost in the Shell and the animated series for it.
Oh. I
would just love to have her be a guest composer on this show.
That would be amazing, and I'm sure Sugar would be interested in that. I gotta say, I really loved the sequence that they chose, because to be honest, when I understood that an anime studio, and specifically Studio Trigger, was jumping in, I expected it to be maybe an action sequence, something along the lines of one of the training scenes, and then it turned out to be the song and this kind of mindscape that Garnet and Stefani are into, and wow, they really they were very impressive. They did a excellent job on it, particularly with the butterfly animation. The butterfly animation was just gorgeous to look at. Are you still there?
Hello?
Hi, you still there? Can you hear me okay? I may have lost Deadpoolzilla. Oh, I lost Deadpoolzilla. Hey, let's see. Cut it right here. We'll be back after these messages. The Real Manos is made possible with support from Geekvolution. Beware the Steve Baxi, ruining your fandom since 2008. And viewers like you. Hey, and we're back! Now we're still talking about Steven Universe Mindful Education, and we were talking about how Studio Trigger really jumped and just went nuts with this great sequence, the musical sequence and the butterflies. I thought the butterfly effects that they were using were just gorgeous.
Yeah, it was just a beautiful thing because it's kind of interesting when you think about lots of negativity. You usually don't think butterflies.
And we've seen the butterflies before, actually, when Sardonyx showed up. You saw...
I thought those were dragonflies.
Were they dragonflies?
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. I'll have to rewatch the scene then. But I really love the message of this one, and it was dealing with, it was dealing with guilt actually, and how to like move on and like kind of accept it and deal with it instead of kind of bottling it up.
Yeah, and having actually someone as a support, because you have to imagine, being a fusion, you're with that person, you're going to see the same thing they've seen and done. So yeah, I would imagine that Ruby and Sapphire have kind of gone through a lot in their long time span.
Yeah, you mean 5,300 years? Yeah, I'm sure they've come across a few things. Oh, yeah. But yeah, you're right, and that goes into another layer of how fusions are great metaphors for relationships. The fusion doesn't hold together unless both are supporting each other, and that's kind of how decent relationships tend to work. And the show the show knows how to go into a metaphor and just run with it without ever feeling like it's milked or forced or anything like that. And they can just logically come back to it over and over again, and it just works for different stories and different character arcs.
Yeah, it definitely plays out like that. The other thing is that we finally get to see Steven, who's been kind of like something that, he's been, hit after hit, with Bismuth and then Jasper's corruption, and also, what happened with Eyeball.
Yeah.
A lot of it's now officially kind of stacked up against him.
Yeah, and I love that. I loved the shot, and I believe Studio Trigger probably did the animation for this bit of the butterflies forming and turning into Rose's menacing-looking head. Oh, God, that was gorgeous. And I feel like, and I think this may have been already confirmed by some of the creators, I think we are getting into Steven's relationship with his dead mother and kind of dealing with the fact of kind of all the things she did, either good and bad, to save Earth and save the gems, and had all the collateral damage, frankly.
Exactly. It also is good because we finally established, Steven's feelings on this, because it just felt like he kind of felt like he just moved on, and he said to move on, and I was like, no, that's not helping.
Yeah, it's called denial at that point. It's not it's not youthful optimism. It's denial. And I'm really glad. Yeah, I agree. I'm really glad they really went into this. Because he didn't feel great about stabbing and bubbling Bismuth, and I know he felt guilty trying to help Jasper. And man, he sent. he didn't kill the rubies, but he pretty much sent them on a fate worse than death, frankly, to be, like, hurtling around in space. And yeah, they don't have to breathe and eat. They'll be kind of fine surviving, but they're kind of in a weird, like, solitary confinement in a way. They're just floating out in dark space with no one being able to help them. And I'm pretty sure they aren't floating together. I think they got shot off into different directions. So yeah, he feels guilty about that. Had to do something, but yeah, I like the fact that, our hero actually, when he does whack somebody, it's obviously feels bad. It's kind of troubling him.
Yeah. The other thing in here is that, like, once again, it proves that Steven and Connie is one of the best relationships in animation, period.
Yeah, over and over again. TV animation doesn't matter anymore. They're just at the top of the list. I'm trying to see. I don't know if there's anything else I have to say about this one outside of the fact that it's fantastic. How about you?
I would have just a few little tidbits here and there. I didn't realize it up until now, but Connie's training uniform is clearly a reference to Gohan's training uniform.
Yeah?
I didn't realize it up until this episode.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, wait.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's very clearly that. There's been obviously some DBZ references here and there in the show, and that's clearly, one of the more blatant ones. She has basically Gohan's outfit from training.
Yeah, and also has Steve's power of the inflated gravity.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about how it looks. It looked a little like Yoshi's floating power with the little legs, shooting back and forth, which is cool. I loved. Oh, sorry. I really love seeing Steven's powers kind of start to work within Stefani. The shield and the new float powers. So it's really interesting the fact that, Connie, when she's fused with him, gets to use these powers when you think about it.
Yeah. The other thing is, I'm wondering how long until Stefani can use the spike ball that Steven can make, and I don't know. Did it also, when Connie attacked that kid, did it also feel a little bit like how Cassandra Cain when she was first trying to get into, trying to socialize?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about Cassandra, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's similar to what Hit Girl and Cassandra would experience when they try and go to school and be a person. Because other teenage characters like Peter Parker or Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, they're already pretty much who they are. I would actually say, I don't know, maybe she's a little more similar to them now, where she's developing these powers and developing this ability to fight, as if she wasn't unpopular enough at school. Now she's got to deal with this. And then she broke a kid's arm for no reason other than that he had the gall to bump into her. And yeah, I mean, obviously, she felt terrible about it. She just wasn't thinking, and maybe wasn't in a good headspace that day.
Yeah. The other thing is that, again, we get to see Garnet quintessentially just, mind meld with Stefani, and I'm like, how long have you been able to do this?
It makes sense, and particularly with other fusions too. I love the use of her mind powers, and they're not overdone, and they're nice and subtle and believable. God, I just love the whole animation. One of my favorite shots actually is the one with Sapphire getting overrun with the butterflies and looking up at that swirling batch of energy. It's just gorgeous stuff.
Yeah.
I was just really blown away by the animation in this one as well.
Yeah. What would you say? Would this rank as one of the best songs for you?
Yeah, I've been listening to it over and over again. And it's so funny, it kind of subtly took over my brain. Like I said earlier, I liked it at first, and then I listened to it a few more times and realized, this is an amazing song.
I don't know, I don't know for me if this was Stronger Than You is the best Steven Universe song. I'm contemplating here. Yeah,
I try not to get into that, especially, with films, but specifically talking about with these Steven Universe songs. It's I don't want to, be the kid with the new fun toy that falls in love with, the Buzz Lightyear more than anything else. I just want to, take my time and think about it, and not get too excited about the cool new toy. But it's hard to, it's hard to resist. I'm sure other fans are like that. Let's see, I think I'm done. How about you?
I'm pretty much done. This was just an all-around great episode. Zoltron, it looks like it's going to be a fun episode.
Yes.
And then I've looked ahead. It looks like the next episode will be called Gem Harvest. So I guess we'll finally figure out what Peridot meant in season 2 when she said, "Are you going to harvest me?"
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. And I think the next one out of that, I looked at the Steven Universe wiki, and I think the next one after Gem Harvest is the last one out of Beach City, which I've noticed that I noticed that title a few months ago, and I've always thought, man, that's a ominous title.
Is Beach City going to get blown up, or some people have theorized what if this is Connie moving away?
I have been wondering that from episode 1 with her, because she mentions her family moves around a lot. And so far, everything's been cool, but, what happens when her parents have to go? Now, to be honest, I don't know if that's going to be too big of a deal, because, they do have the warping technology. They might just be able to just warp her in when they need her. But of course, it would still be kind of a hassle compared to just living just out of town in the suburb.
Yeah.
But oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, folks. Hey, what did you, the folks at home, what did you think of mindful education? Let us know in the comments, and we'll be talking to you next week about what's the episode's called? It's the Zoltan episode.
Future Boy, or I think it's called Zoltron the Future Boy, or something like that.
That's great. Zoltron the Future Boy. We'll be talking about that next week. And until then, you have the honor, sir.
Push the button, Lindsay.